Welcome back to Ireland AM. Now, our next guest started losing her hair when she was just a teenager when she developed alopecia.
Fast forward a decade now, Olivia McVeigh used social media to spread awareness around the condition of alopecia. Good morning to you, Olivia. Great to have you with us.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming in to talk to us about this topic, because it's something that your social media has just blown up in the last while. Can you tell us when you first started to see that you were losing your hair?
I started losing my hair when I was about 17, so it's 10 years ago now, and I first noticed my hair thinning. I didn't think there was anything to worry about, and then probably over the next couple of years, I realised I was actually balding, and that's when I started to look down the route of wigs and realised there really wasn't a lot of options out there. There wasn't a lot of knowledge. I didn't know anyone else who was losing their hair, so for me it was really just a journey to try and get to now.
And when you're a teenager, because, you know, I speak to women who postpartum, prepartum, all that kind of stuff, hair is all over the place. When you're a teenager and your hair is falling out, that's got to be hard.
It is. There's so much that happens at that time in your life. It's such a transformative period and there's so much going on, and you think it's the end of the world. It feels like it's the end of the world, because for me, my hair was my comfort blanket. I loved doing my hairstyles. I loved curling my hair, straightening my hair. So when it fell out, you start to feel like you're losing your identity, especially as a woman. And yeah, when I started wearing wigs, I kind of got that back, and I got the creativity back, and I was able to just feel like me again.
Are there different types of alopecia?
Yes, so there's loads of different types of alopecia. When I was diagnosed, I actually didn't know that, obviously I still have hair. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that that was the type of alopecia. So for me, and posting my story online, it's really important to have that representation to show the different types and educate people.
Yeah, because you do, like that, like when I'm watching your videos, because it's just so fascinating. It really is. Like the skills you have are unbelievable. But it is because you still have hair.
Yep.
And you've always had hair for like, some is gone and some is still there.
Yes.
So what's that like for you?
I think now it doesn't affect my life like it used to. Like, it's 10 years. I suppose people maybe come on my page and think, God, she's confident and she doesn't look like it bothers her at all. But it has been a journey. You know, I've gone through loads of different aspects of it, and it's really been an acceptance kind of a journey and just loving me for who I am.
Whenever you're growing up in an area, I think you're just outside Dungannon, so I'm sure it's a close-knit community as well. So you decided to put your story out on social media to almost silence, to get your own version of events out, because I'm sure you had a lot of people spreading stories and talking about what's actually going on.
I think I didn't know anyone else my age that wore a wig. I didn't know anybody who wore a wig, and when you lose your hair, you start to feel like you've no control over it because it just happens. And for me, sharing my story was like getting that wee bit of control back and kind of telling my own story my way.
Yeah, because there'd be a lot of people in the black community that would be wearing wigs and they're so aware what's going on with their sort of hair, whereas in the white community it can be, you know, different. We wouldn't naturally be wearing wigs all the time. So for you, when you started going online, to be like, Harriet, this is my hair, now, what was that like?
The response was mad. There was so many responses of people saying I'm in the same boat, because I think you just think it's just you. I was the only person I knew that had hair loss, and I didn't know anyone else. And now it's created a community of people who are in the same boat. And I've met so many other women who wear wigs, and it's just amazing to feel related to. Because a lot of the time I'm the only person in the room that's wearing a wig, you know, so...
But people don't know.
No, people never know.
People never know, right?
Never know.
They must just be like, geez, she changes her hair a lot, doesn't she?
I think people just think I have, like, an addiction to hair dye.
That's kind of it.
How difficult was it, though? I know Muireann kind of asked, because you were, 17, 18 when you started to lose your... So in school, I mean, and it's a tricky time going through school. You're losing your hair. Was it tough?
It was tough. I think you go through a bit of denial. I thought it was going to get better, and then when it didn't and I was diagnosed, you sort of have to change your whole perspective on your life. I thought of myself as every milestone that's going to happen in my life, I'm going to be wearing a wig. And that's maybe doesn't sound like a big thing to other people who don't wear wigs, but for me at the time, it was just a new normal and having to really adjust to... I was looking at myself in the mirror and I didn't recognise who was looking back. So I had to kind of figure out how I was going to navigate it.
Because I think it's a very interesting conversation with men and hair loss now. It's something we were kind of like, men are just going to lose their hair, whereas now there's so many other options. But it is a big deal for men, like, and we kind of just glossed over it for years, and then for women,
hair is everything.
Of course, it is. Like it's something about your identity, your personality, and how you hide yourself away sometimes.
Yeah.
So when you started posting, because it's like you do everything from wigs that are like a fiver, and you're like that thing's going to go on fire, to like expensive wigs. But you're talented at it, and what you do online is show people. Right, okay, let's, like you do, it's a skill that you're showing people how to use, right?
Yeah, and I just learned that all myself. You know, like I just was watching videos and just tried to recreate it because I just wanted my wigs to look as natural as possible at the time, and just to make it a wee bit easier. I think it was a coping mechanism as well, to do a different wig every day. It nearly made it fun instead of, oh, this is a daunting experience, it's going to happen. You know, it's nearly like, it is a coping mechanism for me.
But how'd you get so good at it? Because obviously there's netting, there's mesh, there's different types. Like, how do you know what to look for? Because you do use all different types.
It definitely, at the start, it didn't turn out good at the start. There's a lot of trial and error, you know, a lot of bad wigs, and ordered a wig thinking it was going to look like Kylie Jenner, and it looked like I had a bird's nest in my head. So it comes and goes.
Whenever you first started using them then?
Yeah.
What age were you then?
I think I must have been maybe 19, 20.
Yes, and then your first wig, I mean, where do you even go to get your first wig? I mean...
My first wig was a photo online of Kylie Jenner, and it was £15, and I remember thinking, I'm going to be class. Like, this is going to be deadly. And it came, and the hairline, it was about this thick, like the actual top of it. And that's when I realised, like, right, I'm going to have to do a wee bit of research
To do research?
Yeah, and there is a lot of research that is needed to figure out what you want and what's going to suit you and what's going to suit your lifestyle.
But there are some amazing, like, that's obviously a wig that you're wearing now. Like, the quality on it's incredible.
Yeah, they're really, really, really coming on. And obviously now a lot more people are talking about it and talking about alopecia and hair loss. And there's so many wig brands now and people going into that industry.
And would it be like, is there natural hair, synthetic hair?
Yeah. All
different types?
Yeah, there's loads of different types. So you can get synthetic hair, which is mainly like plastic synthetic fibres. And there's human hair. And then you can get a mix of the both.
How many wigs do you have?
I think I have about 20 in rotation. Because I wear a different one every day.
Okay.
Every day?
Every day, yeah.
That's a lot, because you're changing the outfits to go with the wigs and the makeup and all that kind of stuff. Because you're a redhead today, you could be a blonde tomorrow.
Yeah. Usually is that way.
It's a lot of planning.
It is a lot of planning. You have to be organised.
Fair play to you.
It's nice to just wake up someday and just, you know what, I think I'm going to be completely different.
I'm getting all the names of where you get wigs after this. This would be great crack.
What advice would you have for people who are going through alopecia, maybe in the early stages or even a bit further on?
I think it's very easy at the start to think that you've lost yourself completely, because it does feel like that. You feel like you've lost such a big part of your identity. And I think for me, I had to remind myself that I didn't lose all the things that made me me. I didn't lose, you know, my family still love me. I have my friends. I have my personality. I was a talented person. And those are the things you have to remind yourself, that you're not losing your whole identity. And
was there a thing, because obviously, you know, girls being a part of their life, being so young, and how men will react to this, like if you're straight or if you're not straight. Yeah. Like, was that an issue that you were thinking of?
I was single at the time, and I remember when I'd maybe like go on dates or get into relationships, I would just tell them, because if anyone had reacted negatively, that would have been a clear sign for me to stay away from them.
And you're so open online about it.
Yeah.
So what would be your top 3 tips for wig, regardless of what age someone is? Because people might have hair loss at any stage in their life for some alopecia reasons, some because their hair is just falling out. Yeah. So what would be what should people be looking out for and doing?
I would say just to try and find like maybe a shade or style that suits you. Not everyone, say you're blonde, not every blonde wig is the same. Like you've ashy blondes, warm blondes. So figuring out what you want and what's going to suit your life. And also like trying to find fun with it and trying styles that you wouldn't normally have tried, just to make it feel a wee bit more fun and easier.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Good on you for being so open about your journey and to actually just educating people about wigs as well. You were just named in the BBC 100 Women 2024 list. That's pretty incredible.
It was pretty incredible, yeah.
Along some
yeah.
amazing.
It's grand.
Do you get a heads up about this, or did someone just text you to say that, here, I've just spotted you?
No, they emailed me about 3 weeks before the list came out, and I thought it was a scam email, obviously.
Yeah.
And when I replied, they were like, no, we've chosen you to be on the list. And then it came out 3 weeks later, and you don't know who else is going to be on the list.
Yeah.
So whenever it came out, I was like, this is a really big deal.
Really big deal.
Really big deal. So I'm so happy to be on it, obviously. I'm so proud. But I also feel so proud to represent people with alopecia on that list and people that wear wigs and all of the things that we go through. Because
it is the things that you are going, like Giselle Pellico was on this list, Sharon Stone, all these people. You're on this list because there is a community that was underserved and were feeling isolated. And it's amazing that you've been able to kind of go to the fore about that. It's very cool.
Thank you.
For anyone who wants, just for hairstyling tips, just look at her videos. She's absolutely incredible. Olivia McVeigh, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Olivia. Great to chat.
What colour hair are you going to have tomorrow? Black? Don't know.
Maybe brown.
Maybe brown.
You never know.
Never know.
On the outfit.
It's so good.
What about you? You're going to be coming in stealing a couple of these.
I'm grey the whole time. I should have wigs every single day. It would be so good.
Right, coming up next, we're going to be in the